Alright everyone, Vikings is finally releasing content because they're clearly building up to the hype of when the episodes start releasing in the 28th of November, which is this month, which should be so awesome. And it also starts to give away a few things that we had already guessed from the previous season but are now totally confirmed from this scene. So this scene's in between Heahmund and Lagertha, and they clearly tell us that they've landed in England, which we saw them in England with Alfred in the trailers, and so we'd guess they're going to go there. But now we know they're going to straight away, and that Heahmund is indeed trying to protect them. Or at least he's claimed he's going to protect them in England, but Lagertha questions whether he'll stick to that promise now that he's in his homeland and he has all the power now.
You meant what you said, didn't you?
What I said?
That you would protect us, not feed us to the wolves.
Why would I lie to you?
Now clearly in this scene, he's kind of trying to avoid the topic in general. He's like, oh, what are you talking about? I don't really... He's very uncomfortable and he doesn't want to face the fact that he'll have to make a choice and confront the people he knows, the people he's left behind in England, and say, yo, can we actually help out these Viking raiders that I was so vehemently against when they first were here? I was like the main person trying to kill them.
Because you are back in England. Because it makes everything different.
So this whole relationship and interplay we had with Heahmund and Lagertha will lead to some really interesting scenes where he has to confront Alfred about this whole thing and try to explain himself, which should be really entertaining. As well, I'd like to see how the other England forces kind of react to this, whether they'll be fighting alongside, how the Vikings will be happy to do that or not, because we know that Alfred will make demands, and those demands will be quite heavy. Uber won't like it at first, Björn won't like it at first, but Lagertha will be probably the more calming force, as she knows that they're in a desperate spot and they need him as an ally.
Are you afraid that I'll betray you?
I'm not afraid. I just wonder.
Why would I betray you? I love you.
So as me and Azura Hype talked about in our breakdown of the trailer, we said that a lot of this imagery and symbolism and the things we're seeing show that he was going to go through a lot of pain and hardship over this love he has for Lagertha. It's going to really test him, and it's going to be a great storyline to watch progress over this half season. Lagertha's quite a strong woman, and he likes that from her. That's why he kind of tests and prods her a bit there with like, are you afraid? Because if you're a damsel in distress, he doesn't care to protect you. But if you're a strong Viking woman with values and principles, that's something he thinks is worth fighting for and someone he really loves. Now, as I was recording this, Vikings also released several different small teasers cut up in different ways, and there are a few new shots we saw in each of them, so I've kind of taken only the new stuff, and we'll look through that now real quick as well.
I am trying to rule well.
Hail the god Ivar.
I'm trying to rule for the benefit of our people.
Hail the god Ivar.
Not the strangers, not the outsiders who threaten us.
So from that narration, we hear that hail the god Ivar, which is really key here. He is definitely putting himself as the god figure, the emperor god that we see in like China and Egypt and stuff. Rather than just being a ruler, he's a deity and a ruler. Also, we see he's getting into this very lucid state, so either he's playing around with drugs or he's just getting so mad with power. We also hear different voices repeat the sayings, so he's kind of making quite a dogmatic, oppressive frame here. The people are very scared, obviously. He's going with the very dark, heavy themes, tiki torches and everything. And if this wasn't occult enough, he's even going for the next generation, youth. Like, we see this raid here that seems to be on some kind of village, and then we see the shot of a child crying with blood on his face. So that could be some kind of trial that he makes the kids go through, like a sacrificing a goat or an animal or even a human, or possibly in a raid or something like that. They just butchered the village and their parents and their family, and then maybe he brought the bodies in front, smeared some blood on their face as their like parents lying dead in front of their eyes as he tells them they're going to fight for him now. So he's going to try and train that next generation of cultists that will follow him from youth to be his new fighters later on. So in this next teaser, there's only a few shots I actually saw that were new, but they were really big ones. We see Floki having men drag Ivar, his rival, looking beaten up, maybe lost a battle, up in front of him to receive justice almost. So So clearly the violence has escalated and Avon has lost or been captured. Another thing I also want to note on is that the colors and the scheme is so dark, so desolate, so this is probably a really down point for that storyline.
Will be fierce.
Come and see! Come and see the death of humanity!
So again, they're laying on the themes of a dark battles, tons of conflict, huge amounts of death. They're introducing this new character here. They have the narration, come and see the death of humanity. So they're definitely not backing off. They're going more and more intense, way more than last season, and it's going to hopefully be an action-packed season. Tell me your thoughts about what's happening with Floki, with Heahmund and Lagertha and Ivar and this new character and anything about the new season in the comment section below. I want to hear your guys' thoughts and discuss with you because the season's coming around the corner so fast. November 28th. Be there because I will.